Hello, I'm RetroJules. World of Tanks isn't the only game I play. World of Tanks probably isn't the only game that you play. We all need a break, we all like something different. And this is Spintires Mudrunner. It was on offer for about £17 and I've been umming and ahhing about this game ever since it came out because for some reason it really appealed to me, and for other reasons I thought it could be really boring. You're given a map, you're given vehicles, the idea is to go and pick up logs in the woods and take them to the lumberyard. And I thought, as much as there'll be challenges on the way, it could get a bit samey. Little did I realise that when it took me about 3 hours to do the first map, getting to grips with things, I thought that it could get really tedious, and I think this game is absolutely brilliant. If you like vehicles that are designed to do something, like tanks for example, if you like military vehicles, if you like utility vehicles, if you love the roar of a diesel engine and a plume of black smoke when you start, then you might like this game. It's a really chilled game. There's virtually no music, apart from when you deliver to the lumberyard and do various things. You've just got the sound of the birds and the wildlife and the squelch of mud or the splash of water. And it's pretty much a real-time game. It takes you a long time to travel across a map, and then you realise that perhaps you're going to run out of petrol or diesel, fuel, and you're going to have to get a lorry full of fuel to where you are to refuel your vehicle. Or you may run your vehicles on a certain part of the map to a certain wood storage, and then suddenly your vehicles start getting stuck. And that's because if you keep running over the same patch of track, the tyre marks get deeper and deeper. This game is known for real-time mud technology, and that is very much the case. If you sit there and spin away in your vehicle, it will get deeper and deeper and deeper. And if you then manage to get it out and use your winch and then roll another vehicle through that exact spot, chances are that vehicle's going to get stuck too. There's a brilliant range of vehicles that go very slowly, that will absolutely plough through the mud. You can use them to pull yourself out of trouble, to go and rescue a vehicle. There are some vehicles that will go through flooded water really well. There are some vehicles, like the Jeeps, which use very little fuel and are brilliant for getting to the watchtowers to expose the areas of the maps that you can't see and get up mountains. I just wanted to show you this game because I absolutely love it. I am so chilled out when I play this game. You can drive the vehicles in manual, you can drive the vehicles in automatic. If you drive them in manual, you tend to have a little bit more control at lower speeds. You've got differentials which you can lock on and off to stop the wheels spinning independently. You can engage all-wheel drive when you get stuck or when you're going through boggy ground. But if you engage differential or you engage all wheels, you will use a hell of a lot more fuel, and you've really got to keep an eye on your fuel gauge. Also, if you bump into anything, it's not like a tank. If you hit a tree, it will damage your vehicle. If you damage your vehicle to the point that it will stall and won't go any further, or you knacker your engine, you are going to have to find another vehicle with a repair trailer to go and repair that vehicle. This is a puzzle game. You are given a set amount of vehicles, you have to find them, you have to unlock them, you have to work out where the log storage is, the wood storage, work out where the lumber mills are, work out the best route. There are shortcuts. You can go off route. Chances are if you go off route, it's a hell of a lot more boggy than the marked routes on the map, and they're boggy enough as it is. If you are carrying a trailer, towing a trailer, carrying lumber, chances of that rolling over are highly likely. If you go over a lump or take something too steep or too sharp, your trailer can roll over. If you're lucky, you can winch it back straight. If you're really unlucky, you'll have to go and get another vehicle or just abandon the whole thing and start again. It took me about 3 hours to do the first level. Second level wasn't too bad. I'm just doing these on casual mode. And then the third one took me a long time and I completely stuffed it. Most of my vehicles had run out of petrol, most of them had got stuck, and I just thought, do you know what? I need to start this level again because this just isn't going to work out for me. You've also got a day and night time lapse. You can skip those. It costs you fuel, it costs you parts if you do that. I haven't been doing that. I've been trying to play this game as purely as possible. And when the night comes in, it gets really difficult because you just can't see the ground in front of you. And on this footage here, you can see I was trying to save myself a bit of time. I am towing a trailer of logs, and I am then towing another lorry with a trailer with logs. And winding that through little muddy tracks. They get caught on trees, they get caught on rocks. It can be a bit of a nightmare. And while the cockpit view is a little bit basic, it doesn't spoil the game. You still feel like you're inside that vehicle. When you're towing trailers and other vehicles, it's a much easier way to see when you're driving. And this is one of the few areas that actually has a little bit of tarmac on it. And generally the tarmac doesn't last long. And you get to these outposts, which you can pass through when you're not carrying logs, but when you are carrying logs, they won't let you through, and you have to take a long cut. So this is a puzzle game. Work out what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, see if it works. But what amazes me about this game are the physics. The way the suspension moves on the lorries, the way the wheels move, the way the vehicles interact with every single item on the map. These rocks that you see aren't just rendered for effect. Every single rock you roll over will have an impact on the vehicle, and you will see the tyre spin on it, the tyre roll over it. If you try and drive over a felled pine tree, chances are your wheels will spin. Because have you ever tried driving over a tree? Probably not, and it probably wouldn't work out that well. And the other physics you've got in this game, have you ever tried to reverse an articulated vehicle? It is impossible, especially in the mud, and I have come a cropper so often. It does not pay to run to the barriers, realise they're closed because you've got logs, and then try and turn around. And this is challenge mode. It's kind of like a tutorial, if you like. You do a tutorial, but these are like little challenges that will teach you a little bit more about the dynamics of the game, get you used to the physics, make you realise what vehicles do what. And these are the pine trees I'm talking about that you find lying around. Driving over these is a bit of a nightmare. And here we are, completely stuck. And that's how realistic this game is. You can't drive over tree trunks. And the chances are your front wheels might go over and then your back wheels will spin. So the idea of this challenge is to get the two Jeeps. Well, there's 3 parts to this challenge. 1, to get the 2 Jeeps to the checkpoint at the top of the mountain. 2 to find all the watch points or the watch towers, which light up the map for you in the actual game. And part 3 is to do it all at night. And these are like mountain goats, these Jeeps. They're absolutely brilliant. I had so many goes at this, and I don't know if you saw that in the background. We are approaching it. And you have to be careful, because if you drive full on at everything, I'm driving in automatic mode at the moment, if you drive full on, you will knacker your Jeep really quickly as it nosedives into these dips. I have yet to unlock these vehicles in the actual game. I've only had this game about a week or so, and I'm really enjoying it. It's such a chilled gaming experience, and I'm not finding it boring. I can see that people would, because you can't rush it. It's very, very chilled. It's proper. It's a proper, I would say this is a truck driving simulator. And that Jeep in the distance with its nose in the air was the first Jeep, and that was attempt number 1 to get the Jeep up the mountain. So to get both Jeeps up the mountain, I'm gonna have to recover this one. And these Jeeps are so bouncy on their suspension, and if you watch the tyres, you will see that they've got soft tyres. There's not much air in the tyres, and you will see the tyres squish against the rocks. But these Jeeps do grip really well. So I'm just finding my winch. Find a winch point. I was so lucky that that first, no, not there, mate. That first, so these are my winch points. That's the one we want. And I can either just put my handbrake on and wind the winch in, or I can reverse and pull it down, which is what I'm doing. And if you reverse with the winch in place, then the other vehicle will then start its engine and it'll work with you. If you put your handbrake on and activate the winch as a pull, then it will just pull that vehicle into place without it starting its engine. And this is me pulling the vehicle towards me. Right, this is where we should be. And just up in that distance, that sort of, you can see that big shape in the background right at the top in the middle. That's the destination. And I've had a few attempts at this, and as soon as you drove one Jeep into the final destination, then it said mission complete, but you failed to get both Jeeps to the finish point. And it's like, well, hang on a minute, if I drive one Jeep in and it says I'm done, how do I get a chance to drive the second one in and complete the mission? And then it came to me that what you've got to do is tow the other Jeep in, and it will treat you as one vehicle, and suddenly 2 Jeeps have been pulled into the finish line, and the objective is complete. This took me a lot of times to complete this mission, and I loved every minute of it. It was an absolute nightmare. This Jeep, with the kit on the roof rack, is really top heavy. That's why it rolls over a lot easier than the other one. The other one rolls over pretty easily, but this one more so. And this is where the physics of the game come in. When you're driving this, you can feel the weight of that gear on your roof rack, and sometimes you're teetering on the edge, and you can just feel that your vehicle's about to go, and more often than not, you can save it. If you roll your vehicle and it doesn't stall the engine, you can activate the winch, and with a bit of luck, if there's a tree or a log or something solid within your vicinity, then you can anchor up and pull yourself into place. I have found more often than not when I ditch my vehicle or tip it, it stalls or it knackers the engine. So I decided that now that I know what to do, I will get this vehicle up to the top first, because this is the hardest one because of its top heaviness and the amount. And that is the finish line up there, just where that hut is. It's so close. And if I just come over the top here, there's a nice muddy path that will take me there. But I need to get there. Steady, without rolling. Steady, without rolling this over again. And there's the track just down to the left. There's a crater to the right filled with water. And yes, I've ended up in that already too. And steady, steady. Could you see it was just about to go? So I just want to plop this down on this track. Ooh. And this is where I learned after this that this is where you put the gears into manual, because you can only go so fast in first gear and you've got much more control. It doesn't zoom off and try to go into the next gear. Right, there we go. That's that Jeep ready to go. I now need to get this one behind it, and then I can tow them both to victory. Start my engine. And away we go. And that is a checkpoint just where that black flag is. So when you drive into those, it highlights parts of the map that are completely black. But I've already done those. And you don't have to do everything in one go, you can do it all in stages. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, this bit is so tricky. I don't claim to have found the best route up this mountain. And I'm going to be doing this challenge again because I just love it. I really enjoy it. These Jeeps are absolutely awesome. Oh, the end is in sight. Both Jeeps near the top. The finish line is there. Just need to get over these really nasty, craggy ridges, and yeah, you see, this is where you've got to pick your route, really. Between those rocks would have been the best approach, not over them. It's these craggy little ravines that are an absolute bugger. And there we go, I'm stuck on that tree. Bit of a wiggle, and we're off. I just need to go left. Get on that track, and then I've nailed it. Come on, Retro, you can do it. Just to the left. Oh, ease it on, ease it on. Right. So now all I need to do is park this behind the other one, change vehicles, and tow ourselves to victory. Switch vehicles. No. Doesn't work that way. I can winch it, but then as soon as I change vehicles, this would be ideal if I was going to be reversing and pulling it backwards. Right. Here we go. Still getting used to the controls at this stage as well. Don't want to repair anything. I just want to get the winch. Funnily enough, since I've made this video, it makes me realise I'm much better with the controls now. Right, what am I doing? What am I doing? Come on, Retro. Sort it out. Start the engine, and then you can activate the winch. That's... No, no, no. Oh, no. Oh, enough. Oh, for God's sake. After all that. Oh, bollocks. Well, this is Spintires Mudrunner. It's a very unique game. I'm really enjoying it. It's just nice to play something different, something you can really take your time and mull over. I hope you enjoyed watching this and seeing something different. Here's the trailer for the game. Keep safe, keep gaming, and I'll see you soon.
Inside me blaze like a siren. Why would you try it? Wake up the beast, no I can't keep silent. It's been a long time, I've been on this road, I'm racking my mileage up. They don't get loud with us, cause they know we wild as we know they scared of us. No, they don't care for us. They don't have no friends, I came here to win. Now let it begin now. Get loud for me. Get loud for me. Hands in the crowd, we tearing it down. Get loud for me. Get loud for me. Hands in the crowd, we tearing it down. Get loud for me. Get loud for me.